everybody. Welcome to this Friday edition. It is Friday, right?
It is Friday, yes.
Okay, I have to make sure because sometimes I never know. So welcome to this Friday edition of the Leadership Blend with your host, Ricardi Rice, and my correspondent,
Kyle Andrew.
All right, so today we're going to flip the script. So we're going to do things a little differently today because, normally we go into it on the topics and when we get down and dirty. But we're going to switch it because I have a very special guest in the studio today. She's family, like my real family. And there's not a lot of words I can say about her, so I'm going to let her introduce herself because, trust me, she has it. For those that do not know, I have a very, very big family. The surname is the Buckners, and it has so many other names under it. And we have, like, chapters, and we're from different states. It's almost like a corporation. We kind of run like a corporation.
Yeah, absolutely.
We run like a corporation. So my cousin's here, so I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell y'all her name and tell y'all about her. So take it away, cuz.
Okay. Hey, listen, I'm glad to be here in the ATL. Yay! Listen, so I'm Wanda Russell, the queen of the hustle. Have a crown, will travel. So I'm a realtor in Maryland, D.C., Virginia, and the state of Delaware. And I have two.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. That's why I'm Wanda Russell, the queen of the hustle.
I love it.
So reason why I have that name is because I believe in multiple streams of income. Mm-hmm. So if we've learned anything, we just had a furlough in the Maryland, D.C. area. And it affected a lot of states. And a lot of people were just one or two paychecks away from hardship. So we have to realize that today that sometimes it takes more than one stream of income. It's even referenced in the Bible. My logo for one of my companies is 11:6, and it comes out of Ecclesiastes 11:6. The word says, you wake up early in the morning, let not your hands be idle at night, for you know not which one will bring you wealth, and it just may be both. And that's Ecclesiastes 11:6.
I never heard that scripture.
Absolutely. So look at what we're going through today, how these ride-sharing businesses are doing so well, because people are looking for extra income with flexibility. And there's nothing wrong with that. That way your families don't suffer. You still can pursue a dream and still make income. So those things are very important. Now, I wrote a book, and it's called The Dual Career Real Estate Agent. To be or not to be, that is your question. So a lot of people, I even see doctors and lawyers. Let's even step back. Doctors and lawyers that may operate on you during the day and rock out in a band at night because their passion is music, but their income is medical. How about that? So I wrote a few songs in positive movement. So I don't know if we can cue in the dual career song.
Why you going to do that right now?
We're
not doing that right now.
Okay.
We're going to break.
Because I also have a remix also for the dual career, but he doesn't want me to play it now.
No, you can't. You're not playing it now. We're not. See, this that Buckner spirit I be talking about. We come in, we won't take over. It's kind of what we do. It's that Buckner spirit thing we got. No, we're not going to the song yet. We got to have a full conversation first, cuz.
Okay, so how do y'all feel about having multiple careers or working a passion after you get off from work?
I'm currently learning that you kind of have to have multiple streams of income, or at least two jobs, to just even be able to take care of yourself. Right now, I just graduated from college, and I work two jobs right now. And
that's
wait, what two jobs you got?
I work at I've told you this.
The concierge.
Valet.
Okay.
Yeah, I do valet at the Omni Hotel.
Okay.
And I also work at Macy's part-time.
Oh, I thought you quit Macy's.
I wanted to, but I realized that I needed the
you
extra.
Needed multiple streams
right,
of income.
Right.
Yeah, but there's a difference, though. There's a difference between multiple streams of income and just like there's types of income, right? Because it's not just like having two jobs is not multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income is like residual versus, because I saw it's like a breakdown. It's like
passive
6 different
income.
Yeah, like those kinds of things.
But any income, long as it's more than one stream coming in.
Yeah.
But the beauty of having multiple streams of income and really making it work for you is to be on the entrepreneurship track.
Yeah. And so for me, like, I'm really into videography and photography, and I wanted to like kind of put that down, but it's a way that I can make some more money, because people ask me, they're like, Kyle, can you do this for me? And I'm like, no, because it's kind of hard to juggle a job and doing what you kind of have a passion for. So I need to work on like time management.
So it is a struggle, and that's what my book is about. Because I work a full-time job, and I'm my age is on the high end of 50s.
Okay, no shame in that.
And I've been doing multiple streams of income. I've been a realtor for over 26 years, and I've been on my full-time job 31 years.
Wait, what's your full-time job?
So I'm a financial analyst.
What exactly does that mean? Like, I see that title. What exactly do y'all do?
So it depends on whether you're in the private industry or with the government. We manage programs and the finances that come in. So we have to, go through a lot of checks and balances and make sure we're not overspending, we're not underspending. Because sometimes when you underspend, they take your money.
So you're a budgeter for different companies.
Pretty much.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. So I've been doing that just as long as I've been a dual career real estate agent.
Okay.
We call them transitional, dual career. So young man, what I will tell you, it is possible.
Yeah.
But it requires sacrifice. So I just did a group coaching, because I am a group coach for my big real estate company, Keller Williams. And I had a young man come in that plays for the NFL to show, even as a business person, I call myself a part of the business Olympics.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm working on my floor exercises right now. So as I get older, I'm juggling more. Do you understand what I'm saying? But time management, you cannot manage time. You can only manage what you do with the time that you're given. Because you only have 24 hours in a day.
That's it.
Unfortunately.
So you can't go and say, can I put $5 on about 2 more minutes? You can't do that. So you can't even buy time.
How do you feel about the statement that Steve Harvey made about how rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day?
We don't.
Okay, claim it. I mean, I don't know.
But you don't want to be rich, because rich stops working when you stop working.
Yeah.
You want to be wealthy. You want to become wealthy, because that's when you're gaining income while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And there's more than one way to gain that. And you can read a lot of books and a lot of magazines and a lot of articles. And normally it's through real estate and insurance. And being an entrepreneur are the 3 tracks to really making money while you're sleeping. I didn't say only. I said one of the multiples.
Okay.
But the 3 main are those.
So I had a question. So you're not full-time, you're in real estate because you have 2 other jobs.
Absolutely, I'm full-time.
How you gonna do all 3 of them at the same full time?
Because if you're buying a house, you at work making the money to buy the house. So if you read my book, it's strategies in there to show that I will take a late lunch. And when you're calling me on your lunch break because you don't want nobody to hear you talking at your desk, you have to leave a message. So then when I take a late lunch on my job, I'm calling you back. Do I look like I returned your call? Absolutely. Just that you couldn't take it. So there's strategies. It's the illusion. Again, it's not, you only get 24 hours, but it's what you do with that time. So did that make sense?
It makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so there are strategies. Like when I do an open house, you know what that is? When people come in and see the house?
Yeah, you show the house, yeah.
So if no one's coming through the door, I'm running up and down the people's stairs or exercising in place. I don't have time to get to the gym, but I still, yeah.
That's how I'm at work.
So you have to learn how to maximize the time that you're given.
Yeah.
Because you can't manage time.
So that's where I am. I'm trying to figure that out right now. Just how to maximize and use my time. Because like I get frustrated when I don't get to work out at least like 3 times a week. So when I started ballet, I would just run to the cars.
Absolutely.
But now I can't even do that because I'm a supervisor now, and now I just send people to the cars, and now I still have to find time to.
So now you have to find another way.
Yeah.
And the key again is that sacrifice.
Yeah.
There are some things that I would like to do, but I'm choosing not to do them right now. It's either pay me now or pay me later.
Yeah.
I often talk about Venus and Serena Williams, how you didn't think that they wanted to, growing up, go to like a party or eat a burger or whatever, but they made the sacrifices. And look where they are today.
Yeah.
You know, Olympic swimmers, they're in the pool 16 hours a day. You don't think that they want to eat stuff and go out and party and you know, but it's sacrifice.
That's my other frustration, my personal life and just how I spend it. And it's like if I'm always at work, like tonight, I would like to go see the Lion King, but I don't get off work until 11 o'clock at night.
Go see a late one.
Movie theaters, they closed.
No, they don't, because I've gone to, when I went to see Endgame, it started like 12. I was there till 3 o'clock, but hey, it was all work.
You have to find your workarounds.
Yeah.
And it's not saying that you can't enjoy yourself. Look here, I do everything twofold. Everything has to be dual purpose for me.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm traveling for family, I'll make it a point to visit an office or book a speaking engagement in that area. And when you want an entrepreneur track, that's even better.
Mm-hmm.
Because the sole purpose would be to do the business venue and then add on the family.
Okay.
And then incorporate your friends and your family.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be having fun. You can spend time with them as well as still make money and grow your business.
Yeah.
More often than not, people quit their jobs and then start their business. Statistically, businesses
that's a leap
fail.
of faith.
Yeah, that's a strong leap of faith.
Yeah.
But statistically, most businesses fail in the first 3 years. So it's good to build it while you're working. You just have to make that sacrifice for now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll say to people, listen, you're going to, and they said, do you ever sleep?
Mm-hmm.
You just said that.
I sure do.
Yeah. How do I have time to do it all? I still get 6 hours plus.
Really?
Oh, yes, I do. But when I'm up, I'm grinding. That's why my song, the Dual Career song, talks about hustle, grind, and grit.
Yeah.
There's been a study about the word grit, and we probably need to do something on that. How some people are successful and some are not is because of grit, G-R-I-T.
Mm-hmm.
Is that an acronym or just the word grit?
It's the word grit, G-R-I-T. Yep, and it's a mindset also.
So what does grit actually mean?
Grit means that you have a tenacity to do.
So are we talking about like intrinsic motivation type grit, or are we just talking about what are we?
It says here that it means courage and resolve, strength of character.
Keep reading, though. It's got some more to it.
Oh, let me keep looking.
When you get a definition, you better have all of it. Don't bring no half.
Oh, well, that's all it gave me. Let me see.
Well, I mean, I guess it's the same ideology when we talk about people that have come from the hood. And for those that are looking at me, I'm using air quotations.
Yes.
People that come from the hood and how some of them make it and some of them don't. So the question becomes, is the key factor or the key indicator intrinsic motivation? Is it that strong and that different amongst individuals? Or is it just that some people have it and some people don't?
It's a little bit of both. Because some people are self-motivated and some people are not. Some people actually have to go be pumped up. But the key is they don't hold it. You ever been in an environment and said, you better speak or you better preach or you better do that thing? And they want that. I don't know if it's that people are so excited about what you do or the discipline that's hiding in the background to allow you to do what you do.
That's good. That's good stuff right there.
You know? Because we look at athletes. Clearly we want what they have. But we can't go out there and put ourselves to practice every day to get what they want.
Yeah.
So I think it's that we're looking more at the discipline because that's what most wealthy people have to possess is discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's what separates entrepreneurs too.
Yes.
Because
which is what most wealthy people are entrepreneurs.
Yeah, it's because I do actually do the Uber and the Lyft. Because I need the flexibility.
Absolutely.
But I find that I will spend all day doing stuff that is not going to pay the bills because that's what I love to do. But the stuff that actually makes money that I need to be doing will come second. So I'm like, I just told myself the other day, I was like, okay, you have to get a job that's extremely flexible because you're not disciplined enough to get in the car, drive, make your money enough to cover the house until we get where we need to be. So I think discipline is key because it'll make the difference in how far you go and how well your business does.
Oh, absolutely. And it all leads to a mindset.
Mm.
Everything is between the ears.
Another definition I found is firmness of mind or spirit, unyielding courage in the face of hardship or danger. I like that one better.
So if we've learned anything when we can't pay a bill or we lose our job, that should be enough right there to possess the word grit. Grit means just get up off the couch. You got to make a move. Action. It requires action. So, and a lot of people, they dream all day long, but they can't put it into action.
Now, that is implementation and execution is one of the number one factors of why businesses and visions don't happen. Because I can write 50,000 plans, but I can't execute none of them. I don't know how, or I don't take the time to do it, whatever the case may be. That is definitely it, because I see that a lot. People have all these grand visions, and a lot of them can actually write it. They write it very
absolutely.
well. They draw it out, but when it comes to hitting the ground and actually making it happen, a lot of them choke up, which is fine. But if you're going to be, if you recognize that you're a visionary, and not necessarily an executor, then you have to surround yourself with executors and implementers.
There you go.
Because if not, then you have all these plans and goals and dreams and desires that are never going to be executed. And your business is never going to get off the ground, or what you desire to do is never going to get off the ground. So absolutely.
Absolutely. You just got to put it into action. So sometimes when people can be a visionary but not put it into action, they need business coaches, life coaches. Do you understand? Which will hold you accountable and say, okay, what have you accomplished today toward your goal?
This is true.
What can I do to help you see? Because you're so talented. I see that a lot on TV with all these talent show type television, shows. These people, they give them a platform. But they're so talented, and if they never had that platform, no one would never know anything about them. So those shows kind of hold them accountable to grow in their craft. And now they have vocal coaches or talent coaches, which again hold you accountable to help you get off the couch.
Right.
And the couch is just a figure of speech.
Yeah.
And then you have to circle yourself around those that are doing what you desire to do. And you learn from them. It will take you less time to get to your goal if you circle yourself around those that have gone before you. How often do we see that? And we know that that's prevalent.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is being in position to take advantage of an opportunity when it presents itself. What does that mean? I sometimes share the story of Les Brown, how he actually got started in radio.
He was on radio? I don't really know a lot about Les
So
Brown.
he was actually the janitor
Really?
at a radio station, according to what I've read and I've heard. And the person there, the disc jockey, became intoxicated that night and fell asleep at the controls.
Seriously.
Seriously, you have to read his story. And then I hope I'm quoting it correctly, but this is what I've heard and I've read. So hopefully my retention level is what I'm articulating. And so he called the main owner and said, okay, call this guy and tell him to get to the station to take over. But during the time that Les was mopping and whatever, he was watching the guy. See, but that's having that mindset that one day and dreaming and putting it into implementation. So he said, okay, I don't remember if he called the guy or pretended to call the guy, but he called his mama and I think so his sister or somebody and said, turn on the radio. I'm about to go live.
Wow.
And he did. Just by watching that guy all those years.
Wow.
You see?
Wow.
And he took over the airways and did a fantastic job.
Safe to say that guy lost his job and never.
Oh, I don't know what happened to him, but you see where he is today.
Yeah.
And now he's a coach and a national speaker. You see, you never know who's listening or who's watching you. So, but you just have to stay on your grind. That's why I said hustle, grind, and grit. That's why I label myself Wanda Russell, the queen of the hustle. That's not all that I do. I work full-time. I'm a full-time realtor. I'm an author, a coach, a speaker, a real estate investor. Oh, yeah, and the list goes on. So if you look at people that you see on TV, they don't just preach. They have books. They're writing plays. They know the beauty. Commercials, advertising cars. They're not just doing one thing.
Yeah.
So why don't we do it? We just have to start off at a lower level. That's all. But it's all still possible. So, I mean, I'm excited. I'm out here this is how you can build wealth and retire at an earlier age.
Yeah.
Which I'm trying to do. Right. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
But we're living longer. So
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Statistically, we're living longer. 80, 90 years old now.
Oh, that's right. Because they were saying that a lot of people didn't prepare to live as long as they're living.
Absolutely. So
it
their
makes
money's
sense.
running out.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's terrible.
So, it will allow you to be able to take your other income and just straight invest it. while your 9 to 5 could be your living money.
I needed to hear this. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Well, this is how my family get down. So, I mean, this is what we do. Because she don't know yet, but she my mentor because she's already in real estate. And I finished my real estate classes Tuesday. So I just got to take my license.
Oh, my God.
License test and the 2 exams, and I'm
yeah.
done. So we're going to do that. But we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have more of my cousin, Wanda, on the Leadership Blend with your host, Ricardo D. Rice.
Hustle, grinding, grit.
What's going on? Play it now.
Hustle, grinding, grit. Hustle, grinding, grit. Dual career. Hustle, grinding, grit. Dual career. Dreaming of retirement every day. Dual career lifestyle is where I play. Minimum wage, day to day. Multiple stream income in every way. Technology in every way. Dual career lifestyle is where I'll stay. Hustle, grinding, grit. Hustle, grinding, grit. Hustle, grinding, grit. Dual career. Hustle, grinding, grit. Dual career. This is not a game that all can play. Push through the pain, work every day. Increase my resume in every way. Provides a new skill set every day. Entrepreneurship, yes, I'm able. 9 to 5, prosperous and stable. Hustle, grinding, grit. Hustle, grinding, grit. Hustle, grinding, grit. Dual career. Hustle, grinding, grit. Dual career. Dual career millionaires every day. Social media all day. Bad decisions, I'm still able. This is my life, this is not a fable. Increase the quality of life, be stable. Reading my word at the table. Hustle, grinding, grit. Hustle, grinding, grit. Hustle, grinding, grit. Dual career. Hustle, grinding, grit. Dual career. Work time, family time, dinner table. This is my lifestyle, not a fable. Hustle meditation is stable. Ecclesiastes 11:6 on the table. Dual career lifestyle, a playground today. Come on and play. Hustle, grinding, grit. Dual career. 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 Work time, family time, dinner table. Work-life balance, yes, I'm able.
Yo.
All right, everybody, welcome back to this Friday edition of the Leadership Blend with your host, Ricardo D. Rice, and my correspondent,
Kyle Andrew.
And Double R is in the building, you guys.
Double R
Right
is
now.
back, everybody. And my
I am
very
here.
special guest, my cousin.
Wanda Russell, the queen of the hustle, have a crown, will travel.
I love it.
All right, so we were talking today about incomes, the different types of incomes. Wanda's here because she's, like she said, the queen of hustle. So she has real estate, she has jobs, she has books, she has, what is that T-shirt?
So my T-shirt is Hustle, Grinding, Grit. So if you just heard the song during the commercial break, listen, you got to get on your grind. Your income will do this, and your pension will do this, and inflation will do that.
Absolutely.
So look, now there's a lot of talk about increasing minimum wage. I mean, it's very hard.
This your man's.
Yeah.
This all he talk about.
It is not all I talk about. I'm just saying.
Bernie with the $15. Bernie about to give everybody $15.
Look, we're not gonna act like it won't. We're not gonna act like it won't make a difference
It
for
don't-
those
it-
that are
it
really
don't.
in
It
the trenches.
It won't.
It will make a small difference. Now,
It's going to
granted,
make a small difference.
it's gonna make a small. I'm just saying for those
30
that
cents
do not
does
have,
not make a difference.
it does make a difference.
That's
and for
what it's
those,
going to average out to.
What?
Milk is, think about it. Milk used to be $1.30. Milk is
Really?
now $2.99. You think that
Inflation.
if they give people $15, that milk not going to be $4?
I mean, you're gonna lose to inflation anyway. But the question is, how much can we level the field on any regard is the question. And at least if they raise minimum wage, at least we're leveling the field a little bit for those who are at the very bottom. That's my point. I don't care if it's 20 cents. That's 20 cents more they can give their kids. Or that's 20 cents more they can buy school supplies. That's 20 cents more they can buy food with. That's what I'm saying. Versus leaving them where they're at now with this 7.15 and 7.25 crap, and inflation is steady hiking up. At least we got to try to do something. And if that $15 is that something, yes, I'm okay with it.
But if you double wage, you don't think that inflation gonna double?
I don't see that happen. I mean, it's still going to go up, but I don't see it doubling.
Yeah, it may not double.
It's not going to double. It's going to go up because that's what it's designed to
I
do.
mean, that's what, right.
But it's
these
not going to double up.
economists
That's extreme.
The way these economists is talking, it's about to get nasty.
Well, everything's
with
about
all
this
these
because they're still
tariffs
predicting another
Oh, absolutely.
Oh
housing.
no, it's gonna crash.
They're
It's
still
gonna
predicting
crash.
another housing crash.
It's gonna be a nasty crash too.
When exactly are they expecting this to happen?
Nobody can give a
Well,
time.
no one
next
could
2
because
years.
everybody would be wealthy if they had an exact timeline.
Facts.
So this is why we have to change what we're looking at on television sometimes and what we're reading. You know, we have to start looking and reading these articles that's talking and predicting what's happening so you know what's going on in your area as well as throughout the United States. Because what is called is economic drivers. Everything that happens even in another country can affect what the price of something here.
Yeah.
So my
Like
cable
gas.
television, I go from domestic to international channels because whatever happens internationally is affecting us as well. So you can't call yourself an investor and you not touch something every day to understand where the economy is going. This is what economists do. And you should be your own economist. You should chart, okay, gas prices are going up. Oh, it was just an oil spill here. Oh, gas prices going up. There was just a hurricane here. What did they make in that state? Because the price of that just is going to go up.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can't go through the storm, but you have to learn how to go around them. But the only way you can do that is to have enough knowledge to know what is taking place that you can say, okay, I need to make an adjustment. You'll never be leveled off financially. You're going to always be up or down because that's how the economy is. Let's talk now that the interest rates are going to go down. That's good for home buyers, but that's bad for you if you have money and you're looking for interest on it. You
True.
see? We have to learn how, when you go to a store and they say, would you like to get this credit card? You can save 10%. You're saving 10 today, but it's going to cost you 50% over the course of maybe 3 years.
I feel so bad after I sign up people for those Macy's
That's
cards.
right. You do work at Macy's.
I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have to
that's
talk them
terrible.
into it. I feel so bad,
Yeah.
but it's just my job, so I have to get that.
No,
Yeah.
and I get that. But you knowing better, you have
Yeah.
to do better.
Yeah,
And a lot of times we know better, but we don't do better.
yeah.
People be getting those cards knowing. They be knowing.
Oh yeah, so I've had people walk up to me. I was like, "Would you like a Macy's card?" That was like, "I might as well because my credit's already messed up. It's not gonna go through, but I might as well try." I'm like, "Dude, I'm gonna sign you up anyway, but that's not okay."
Yeah,
You
just
know?
for the discount. They do it for the discount,
Right.
but
that's the lack of knowledge.
yeah.
Yeah,
And this is why we have to go out there and reach one, help one.
yeah,
You know? Because money is up there with oxygen. You try to live without it.
yeah.
Facts.
It's not happening.
Like she said, it's a lot of people don't pay attention. Like, I bet y'all didn't know that the oil that spilled a couple years ago, it's still spilling.
In
What do you mean it's still
the,
spilling?
The BP?
It is still spilling.
Are you serious?
They losing about 15,000 tons. Like it's just, yeah. So people be questioning like, why gas keep changing? And it's a secret. They don't want to tell you that it's still spilling, that it's killing the orcas, and that they're going from one place to another. They don't want to tell you that because, I mean, by law, because of what happened, they don't have to tell you nothing. We've been bailed out already. We done signed all these clauses. BP signed MDAs. The government signed the NDA. So they don't have to tell you nothing at this point. If you just so happen to find out, then, well, I guess we've been caught. But that's what's happening. That's what's happening with interest rates, with this buyer market. Like I was watching an interview with Robert Kiyosaki, and he said that when the crash happened in 2008, the government gave him $500 million to buy property. Like he already had $1 billion, and they was like, "Hey, look, you're one of the most prominent buyers in the country, and we're having people selling. Like people were short selling all their houses."
There were so many millionaires made behind the bubble. That's what we called it. Because if you had cash, the prices were so reduced, you can buy multiple homes. They were so, yeah. Now, beget. Let's look at the word beget. If a movie star walks into a restaurant, everybody's like, oh my God, so-and-so is here. And when it's time to pay the bill, you know what they do? They say, it's on us. If you walked in the restaurant and you finish your meal, what do you get?
A bill.
A check.
So that, a bill to pay. But what you just said is the word beget. Really, wealth begets wealth. But can we start? Yes, you start today. I don't have money to invest. Yes, you do. Because $5 in some locations, you can start an IRA or a Roth or traditional or a savings account. You just have to start somewhere. But our mindset have us believing that we have to start what we see on TV.
Yeah, they be telling us, yeah, you got to be a millionaire. You got to have
No.
this amount of money. I bought my first house in college at 22 for $11,000.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I sold it for $30,000 and then bought the property that my mama live on now. And that's just because the dude they had it, somebody offered him $1 million for the property. And he just gave me my money back and gave me the money I put in the house. He was like, hey. And he short sold the property. And we talking about like a whole block of property, 4 houses and a lot. He sold it, and then they just built a building on it.
Yeah, they're buying them to tear them down just to have the land.
Because
Buy dirt.
If you buy a building, like if you buy property and you put a building on it, you can have 75 houses in that one property. Mm-hmm. So instead of you charging $1,800 for one house, you can charge $1,800 per unit. And that's what a lot of these people is doing. That Robert Kiyosaki said, I bought so many properties that I still haven't seen yet. He still haven't seen them. He owns 8,000 properties.
Remember, what did I say? There was 3 main, not only real estate, insurance, and to be an entrepreneur. You gain wealth that way. And real estate was the first one that most of them mentioned. Because you make money while you're sleeping. You buy it, and while you're sleeping, every month you collecting rent, you're paying that debt down. And it's not debt, it's good debt because it's an investment. Actually, if we realize that a home is an investment, it just so happens to provide shelter, you'll be better off. Not buying it for a status symbol. And I tell my clients, when you go to look for a home, don't look for the perfect home. You're not perfect. You drive a car that ain't perfect, it provides transportation, right? You go to a job that you don't particularly like, but it provides income. Right. So you're going to buy a house that ain't 100%, and it's going to provide shelter.
Right.
Everything should be seen in the eyes as an investor. And if you keep that mindset, you're going to be above the curve. You won't have to work until you get your wings. You can actually retire and enjoy it. But if we don't make these sacrifices, either pay me now, pay me later. I'm going to go back to, you said, Wanda, do you ever sleep? Absolutely. But I tell you what, you're going to lose sleep worrying about a bill you can't pay, or lose sleep every now and then working extra hours to pay a bill. Does that make sense?
Right.
So which one do you want? Consistently lose sleep, or lose sleep every now and then, working your craft after you get off from your 9 to 5? If you do what you enjoy, it doesn't seem like another job.
It ain't work.
True.
You'll wake up and say, well, you won't wake up, you'll look up and look at the clock and say, oh my God, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I got to go to work tomorrow. Because it's your passion. It'll be like fire shut up in your bones. Trust me.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Yes.
So, but it's all, again, it's what's between your ears. It's your mindset.
All right, so the 7 different streams of income are earned income, profit income, interest income, dividend income, rental income, capital gains, royalty income. So those were the 7 streams that they were talking about. And most of the ones that we typically are familiar with in general is really earned income. Most people know earned income is the one you go to a job, you get a paycheck.
That you cannot get a tax credit for unless you have children. They don't even tell you that because they changed that law a couple years ago. Well, last year. I didn't know until this year when I filed taxes that I couldn't get an earned income tax credit. I take care of my mama. My mama don't pay no bills, and she don't get no income. And that's my house. oh, sir, your mother doesn't qualify for that. You so
Is that just for kids?
that earned income tax? You used to qualify for it if anybody lived in your house that was a dependent.
And you bid over 50% of their support.
And they told me I didn't qualify for it.
So what? They changed the rule?
They changed that last year.
See, and this is the kind of stuff that I'm saying that we need to start reading.
Yeah.
So when you go to get your taxes prepared, you should not be looking up on the ceiling for your numbers. When a tax preparer says, oh, well, how much did you spend in so-and-so, such and such, you go, and you always look up like the numbers are on the ceiling.
We wait for Jesus to tell us.
Yeah, So you have to start reading in January. What are the new tax rules and laws that are coming out? So you can, what did I say, start going around some of these things. Mm-hmm. Not saying you evading the law. That's not what I'm saying. But you can, let's say, participate. You know what I'm saying? Redirect how you're spending your money.
Right.
Whether or not you have a business. Whether or not you should start a business. What can you deduct as a business owner versus non-business owner? Mm-hmm. Those are some of the things that we have to start reading and listening to and putting in our spirit. Whatever you focus on will expand.
That's good. That was a good
Yeah.
one. I like that. That was a good one. Mm-hmm. All right, so the interest income one. So at one time it was procedural to have a savings account and ideology that as it sat there, it would accumulate interest.
Yeah.
Not
At
so
one
much
time.
anymore.
That depends on who you
not
bank
so
with.
much.
That
That's
depends
what?
on who you bank with. Most banks that back then it used to be 0.8%. Now it's like 0.001%.
Less than a penny.
So where should we invest in your opinion, where should we invest our money to get any kind of interest on it? Is there any place, or should we buy like CDs or?
Yeah, you could buy CDs, but they're not really paying out as much either. And then you have to lock your funds in for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years to
Wait for
really
the
see
flip.
a return. And then if you need to go get that money, you're penalized and you just lost everything that you saved. Again, I say the three main ones is that real estate, right? Insurance, and becoming an entrepreneur. So when you become an entrepreneur, you can start writing off things like your cell phone. Right now, it's probably straight out of pocket expense. But if you use that cell phone for personal and business, you can write a percentage of that bill that you paid throughout the whole year. And all that's legal.
Definitely write off my whole phone bill.
You see? But you have to have a business to do it.
So that means you have to have the LLC or things like
Absolutely.
that in order to do it under.
Yeah, you're gonna
So
have to
would you
spend
do
that
it
$250.
under your name or you would do it under the business?
Business. You should conduct everything under a business name.
Yeah, America, that's the secret in America, is that America created the jugs. So nobody would figure them out, and then people start figuring them out, and then they start penalizing people. But these are the same people that implement the jug. Like getting, what is it called? Like a alternate social. I forgot what it's the...
EIN number?
No,
For your
that's
business?
that's for business.
Oh, okay.
People be getting the fake socials.
Oh.
They be real socials.
You
can
talking
put
like
real-
dead people?
No, they use their same name, but it's like a whole new line of credit, and then they add trade lines to that social. They use that. You can't use it to get a car. You use it to get a phone. You can buy a house with it. You can get lines of credit with it.
That sounds illegal.
I know. I don't. That does
Is
not
that
sound legal.
legal?
Yeah, I'm
to me.
not familiar with that
but,
one.
But when you,
That does not sound legal to me.
When you study the history of money, you
Yeah.
realize that one person you can't file bankruptcy more than once in 7 years. Well, if you look at Donald Trump, Donald Trump has that. He's done it multiple times over the last 30 years because in real life he broke. He's had the same amount of money for the last 20 years. He lost all his money in '89. That's the year I was born. He bought what we now know as Trump Towers for $500 million. Went broke. His daddy gave him some more money. He's invested and put his name on properties. So that's how he can keep getting income. He doesn't own those properties though. So like it's different when you spending out a whole bunch of money to put your name on something and then you only getting like a small return. So you see, that's why he won't release his taxes. That's why he hasn't told anybody, yeah, bankruptcy every year because I don't have to pay nothing back. Hey. I can just call my friends on Wall Street and put another 100,000 in something, and then they'll tell me when it's about to break, and then I'll go get $1 million real quick, and that's what a lot of people do. That's what a lot of people that's literally how they work. But they don't tell us those secrets. They don't tell you that you could take $100 and go buy a stock. Or like penny stocks used to be the thing in the 90s. And then a lot of people that own penny stocks, if you look at their income now, I could have sold. Yeah, Coca-Cola used to have penny stocks.
Now they have
IBM used to
drips.
have penny stocks. Nike used to have penny stocks. And then they was telling everybody, oh, the economy's about to crash. Sell your penny stocks. And then everybody that told you that, they just went and bought them for pennies.
But that's because you have to educate yourself. Period. You have to educate yourself so you know what to do and what not to do. Because if you don't have a plan, you're going to fall for anything.
This is true.
So you got to plan for your retirement. Read up on all the new laws. You don't break the laws, you implement the laws. When it comes down to multiple streams of income, how to manage a business, and how to do it effectively. You need to go and have a CPA. You need to build a team.
That's what it's called, a CPN number.
Oh, okay.
So you look up the CPNs and you find out how many people got CPNs. Donald Trump got multiple
Look up
CPNs.
CPN.
I know, right? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, Donald Trump got multiple CPNs. A lot of people in business use them because you can use them as line of credits versus using your social. So I can use my business. I get that's a line of credit through my business. I can get my own personal line of credit if my credit is good enough, and I can get a CPN number. And I can just add a trade line to it, and add another trade line to it, and add another trade line to it. And my CPN number credit could be worth more than both my business and my personal. So I would use that. So I can go get a line of credit through my CPN for $15,000, but I can only get $2,500 through my personal because my credit not good enough. And then I also have a business, and I can get $5,000. So now you just made $22,000 getting all these lines of credit from multiple places. They don't tell you that it's legal to do that. A lot of people don't know, like, it's legal to get a line of credit through your business. They just don't tell you how to do it. So they say, well, if I get a business in my name and my credit bad, that means I can't get a loan. It don't work like that.
Again, it goes back to you taking the time, sacrificing the time to educate yourself. Knowledge is power.
man. Learn them secrets.
All right, so let's say that for example purposes, for those that are actually that are listening, or it's starting to ring some bells. If I am a single mother and I have 2 kids, and I happen to come across $50, where should I put that $50 in order to start something? Where would be your advice to put that $50?
Start a business.
What?
You can start a business. Some people started them for $10 or $15. I think the lady that created Barney, the purple dinosaur, made it from a sock.
It
And
used to be
sold
a
the
puppet for
concept.
kids.
Yes. So it doesn't always require. This is why we don't get off the couch. Again, that's just a figure of speech because we think it requires a lot of money.
So we think we have to have this grand idea when we really can just start with a sock.
An entrepreneur strain, which
I'm
is
just-
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just
Most entrepreneurs are very successful because they solve a problem.
Yeah.
The little girl that we talked about it on here, the little girl that created the clear Band-Aid, she was 9 years old. She is a millionaire, like hundreds of millions of dollars. Little white girl created the clear Band-Aid, solving a problem.
Trademark and copyright patents, sometimes it's as little as $100. Everything is done online. But you just have to believe that you don't need a whole bunch of money. All you need to do is solve a problem or create something that can help with an issue or a problem. Those are the items that just take off.
Yeah.
Always.
Because her question was super simple. Daddy, why isn't my Band-Aid the same? Somebody got cut in her class. Black kid. Daddy, why the Band-Aid don't look like him? Because, Band-Aids, or if you look at the color of Band-Aids, it's very specific. All that stuff be strategic.
Yeah.
So they implemented a concept that they use in the military. Is when you don't have Band-Aids, you use glue. Super glue. You put it on the wound directly, and it's clear. Why can't you take that same concept and apply it to a Band-Aid? So we saw it in the early 90s with like the spray-on Band-Aids. But that's flammable.
But to answer your question, $50, start a business.
That's how much it costs.
Okay, so staying with that same example, what if she doesn't have an idea though?
She can go buy 7 boxes of cake mix, 10 boxes of icing. Do you understand what I'm
Some
saying?
eggs. and learn how to cook.
and baked cupcakes. Remember, cupcakes was a craze about 5 years ago. They still
I
are.
love good cupcakes.
But you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is take that $50 and she could start a cake decorating business. Or, you see,
And she got kids.
Yeah. People love the kids.
They be having all the ideas on the low.
Absolutely. So just take that $50 and think of something that you can do to create more income. So she take that $50 and think entrepreneurial, bake enough cakes, sell them, double her money. Now she has 100. Do it again. Birthday parties, PTA, whatever. Do it again. Do it again. And then everybody's, oh, her cakes are good. Next thing you know, she has a full-blown business. Is that the only business she would do? No, because normally one business lead to another. Because that's why I have so many. Because when I need something, if I got to go to you and you're not going to perform, I'll create it and do it myself.
Facts. Absolutely.
I needed T-shirts. If it takes me 2 weeks to get them, I went and bought my own heat press machine.
Seriously?
Absolutely.
So I need to be. I got to come to you to get my shirts done.
You see what? And now I can do them for you and myself.
Right.
So now I can sell mine faster because I have my own heat press machine. Does that make sense? And my own embroidery machine. And it goes on. Now, I may not master all of them, but I do just enough that I could take care of myself and make some money to pay that investment back and then some.
Well, that was gonna be my next question. So, how much of a factor is skill set? Because if that's not my skill set, does that matter now?
We live in the
Not
age
with
of the
YouTube.
internet.
I'm flipping homes. I can go on YouTube and see how to put a toilet down, move the rack swing, pick it up, put it down. Because I do my own. I just press these on for this weekend. but I actually do a lot of my rehab work myself.
Seriously?
Absolutely. Floors, walls, wallpaper, painting. Absolutely.
I don't spend enough. Look, we live in different states. So everybody's like, how you don't know about your cousin? We live in different states. So, we see each other at the family reunion. That's 3 days. It's so. Last year, I think we had our family reunion in Atlanta. It was Atlanta last year,
Yes.
wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There was 300 people. And when I say 300, it's not like 300 random people. For the most, we know 85% of the people that are in our family reunion. Like, this is not random folks just show up. We know these people. The people we don't know, we're introducing. Like, hey, this is cousin so-and-so. You keep in touch. So 300 people were there. So we see each other, but we don't get to see each other. So that's why I'm
But see,
asking
that's
these
why we're
questions.
starting to change things. The one we're going to next week,
Yeah.
all the entrepreneurs and all that will be displayed.
Oh, yeah. The tables and
Yes,
stuff.
because you have to have a vision and you have to help each other. Reach one, help one. There is no reason why, and this is why I'm out here traveling everywhere I go, I'm speaking. And listen, you can go to my website, mydualcareer.com. Have crown, will travel. Okay? So, because we have to educate. We have to educate. That's a part of survival now. Because our wealth is depreciating and diminishing.
This is very, very true.
Yeah. So what's the other stream of?
All right, so we have, of course, I think everybody knows what rental income is.
Oh yeah. See, did I say real estate?
Yeah,
You
but
did,
most
you
people know
did.
what rental income is. Capital gains. This is the money that you get as a result of increase in value of an asset that you own. For example, when you buy shares at $10 and sell them at $11, the dollar is the capital gain. So it's kind of the buying something and selling it for something, which goes a lot with real estate.
But how you gain wealth through, when you sell something, yes, you can receive. You are charged like a capital gains tax and all that.
Yeah, especially if it's
But
an
when it's tied to real estate, it's called a 1031 exchange. So say, for instance, I bought a home and I sell it and I make $100,000 profit. Do I want to be taxed on that? Absolutely not, especially if I'm going to buy some more real estate. So you put it in a 1031 exchange, right? It's being held in escrow. You have certain amount of time to find like kind properties, whether it's a commercial building or 2-3 other rentals. And when you use that money to buy those, you're not taxed on the dollar at all. See? Knowledge.
All right, say that again. For those that wasn't listening in top row, say that again.
Okay, so I sold my home and I made $100,000 profit in real estate. How do I get around legally not paying taxes on it? Because I'm going to buy more homes anyway. So you take that $100,000 that you made in profit, You take it and you use a 1031 exchange. So it's being held in escrow, normally by a title company or an attorney, depending on what state you live in. And you go out and you find other real estate products to buy, because you're going to do that anyway, because you know the beauty of keep flipping your money, if that's what you want to call it, reinvesting your money. So now that $100,000 is held in an escrow account, you go out and you find maybe 6 other properties. So you sold one, and now you have enough cash to buy 6 others. Because normally, whatever the price of the home is, you're going to need 10 or 20% down. Where do you get that cash from? You just got it because you just sold one, which would allow you to buy 4 or 5. And you're not taxed on that because you use what is called a 1031 exchange. And if you look that up, it's a tax code number. 1031.
You're the research guy today. So
Okay. I'm really listening. Like
you're the research guy today.
Yeah.
So really quickly in that, is there, because everybody feels like you have to be a realtor or an investor to make money in real estate. Are there other areas of real estate that you can make money if you're not an investor or a realtor?
You ain't never met a commercial builder?
I'm just saying for everybody else.
Yeah, so it could be either commercial, because I'm residential and commercial, or I think you're just talking about
Like other stuff in the real estate field that for people who just don't want to go to school to become a realtor or don't have the money to be an investor.
But you have money to become an investor. That's what I'm trying to convey. You do have money. There's sources out there where you can actually use other people's money to get enough resources to buy homes, to become a real estate investor. You just have to hook up with the right information, mydualcareer.com, and I will share with you how that can be done. You just need decent credit.
Especially in this city.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
What is decent credit?
640 and above. 640 and above.
That's what they told me when I bought my house.
Yeah. It's reachable. Now, there are also products out there that can help you at 580. Your interest rate is going to be a little higher.
But you can get the money.
Yeah.
You can get
And
the
if not, then you do whatever it takes to get your credit score to where it needs to be. So it's deferred. It's not denied. But first is knowing where you are. That's knowledge. And then putting it to action, right? What you need to do to get to where you need to be. Deferred, not denied. It's so possible. But we have people, I call it at the water cooler. Those are on your job or in your family that already bought a home, but they bought it 15, 20 years ago, and they're telling you now how to buy it here in the 21st century. Things have changed a lot since the bubble. But there are some products out there still available to you. You up late at night because you're trying to figure out how to pay a bill, and you hear these commercials, no money down.
Yeah, you do.
And then you say, oh, I don't need any money to buy a home. Further from the truth. There's 2 pots of money to make a real estate transaction, down payment and closing. The commercial didn't say nothing about closing. All you heard,
no money down.
No money down. That just takes care of the down payment. I could do a whole segment on real estate. But this is where the wealth is, one of the tracks. Do you understand what I'm saying? And once we catch on, you're going to be better off in your retirement and golden years. Because if you ran into a hardship, say for instance, you go buy a mini mansion, you run into a hardship, you lost everything. Say for instance, you buy a lot of little ones, like play Monopoly, buy a lot of little ones, you run into a hardship, no one would never know. Because you can put all 8 of them up on sale, and whichever one sells first, you get a little money and you back on the street. You know what I'm saying?
Money.
But that's why you have to diversify. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's what that means, pretty much. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And that's what you see most people that are wealthy do. Commercials, books, movies. They don't put all their eggs in one basket. Now we're in the age, if you do one thing, you lose endorsements. So if you spread out and diversify, okay. Because you can't please everybody. Somebody's always going to be offended by what you say. And this is scary about any of us that talk live anymore.
So all it takes is one thing.
Because you're not going to please everybody. That's what makes the world so beautiful. We're a melting pot. I mean, everybody has different ideas and how they view things.
But is it harder because this is like a feelings market? Like you hear people saying like, I didn't feel right about that last person. I don't know if I want to get this
All right, well, hold
house."
that thought. So we're going to take a break. On the break, we're gonna play your other song. So explain your
So,
other song.
so the other song is the Boss Move Anthem. So we have a lot of women that are out here doing this thing, including myself. And most of it came from the book, the Bible, for me, The Virtuous Woman. And if you read The Virtuous Woman, she had about 10 jobs if you break it down. She considered the field and buyeth it. She was a realtor. She clothed her family with garments. She was a seamstress. She was known in the marketplace, so she was a vendor. And the list goes on and on and on. So I challenge you women to continue to make boss moves and read about the virtuous woman.
All right, so Maestro, we're going to take a break, and on that break, we're going to hear my cousin Wanda's song. So stick around, the Leadership Brand with the host, Ricardi Rice.
Boss moves, yeah, boss moves, she's making boss moves, yes, she's making boss moves, she's making boss moves, yeah, boss moves, she's making boss moves, yes, she's making boss moves. First one up, last to bed, virtuous woman, the book it says, moving and pushing with vision in sight, looks up and now it's night. She's like a sailing ship, bring food across the sea, more precious than gold, precious metal is she. Her words come from wisdom, advice is she, balanced in trapeze act, taking care of family. Boss moves, she's making boss moves, yeah, boss moves, she's making boss moves, yes, she's making boss moves, she's making boss moves, yeah, boss moves, she's making boss moves, yes, she's making boss moves. Keeping fashion playbook right, business, work, family, home, school kept tight. Displays, sacrifices, proven accolades. Making boss moves is how she plays. Making her family proud is all she wants to do. Giving birth to vision, living her truth. She's making boss moves. She's making boss moves, she's making boss moves, yeah, boss moves, she's making boss moves, yes, she's making boss moves, she's making boss moves, yeah, boss moves, she's making boss moves, yes, she's making boss moves. Making sacrifices is a normal day. Keeping it together, she's on display. Moving and shaking, passion, career in sight. Pushing through possibilities is the fight. Boss moves is her anthem each day. She is the boss with boss moves in play. She's making boss moves, she's making boss moves, yeah, boss moves, she's making boss moves, yes, she's making boss moves, she's making boss moves, yeah, boss moves, she's making boss moves, yes, she's making boss moves, she's making boss moves, yeah, boss moves.
All right, everybody, we are back on this Friday edition of the Leadership Blend with your host, Ricardi Rice, and my correspondent,
Carl Andrew.
Double R.
and my very special guest.
Wanda Russell, queen of the hustle, have crown, will travel.
All right, so when we left, Wanda was talking about the virtuous woman breakdown, which I had never heard that before. So I want to start with that. So get back into that, the example about the virtuous woman.
Yeah, so when I was writing the song, I actually just looked deep within myself, okay? Because I do my morning meditation, which is very important for us to always, before our feet hit the ground, just look into ourselves. What do we want to accomplish for the day? Mm-hmm. Now, you can look at television, movies. I mean, you always see a woman doing multiple things. I always say we do 20 to a man's 1. That's just what I say.
You know what?
That is.
You know what?
That is.
What I'm not about to do,
That is
because your
different.
cousin is in charge of this. So what I'm really not about to do is talk about how much
But
y'all
y'all
there's
do
some
a,
men.
y'all do a lot.
We're
Y'all
not
do a
gonna
lot.
rob y'all, but at the same token, there's
No.
some men out there. You know.
I'm not saying that men don't do. That's not what I'm saying, because
You're just saying y'all do more.
We do more.
It's just the way you
And
said
I
it,
think
though.
I know, right?
I think it's how the atmosphere is set up.
Yeah.
Truly. So you've seen commercials. Listen, we've had songs. I can bring on the bacon, fried up in a pan. That was before your time. Cause see, I'm in my high end of 50s.
Hey, I'm almost 40. I'm almost 40. Or
So-
Kara White, Superwoman.
Superwoman. We have those songs because everyone really can see that a woman does a lot. Have you ever gone to the award shows or watch them on television? They thank two people, mama and whoever they're
Thank
serving.
God.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think it's how the atmosphere was built. It's not a negative connotation toward anybody, a gender or anything like that. It's just that commercials will even show women trying to do more than one thing. I think they had a commercial where a lady had a couple of arms, out at one time, or swinging from one vine to another,
Yeah.
So I mean, we just have to embrace it to a degree. And there are a lot of powerful women out here, a lot of them. So I wanted to write something to support myself as well as them. And the song just goes on to say, she's like a sailing ship, bring food across the sea. See, that's that virtuous woman. More precious than gold, precious metal is she. Her words come from wisdom, advice is she, balancing trapeze act, taking care of family. Because the first thing she's going to do is take care of her family. And that's why women have now embraced owning businesses, where before we didn't. But now we're out there. We're doing it. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I can tell from the inflection in your voice. Yeah, you're quite
Because we now know that we can do. So once you know better, you do better. So I wrote that song in like 45 minutes because I just looked at myself. I am the first one up in the morning. And I'm the last one to go to bed because I'm going to make sure my household is taken care of. And the word says that that's what we're supposed to do. So I don't trip.
Yeah, and kids don't remember who brought the food. They just remember who served it to them. Mama made the plate, though. But I had to go catch it, though. You know how hard it is to catch some food out here in these streets?
But all of that leads to having a better opportunity. Does that make sense? When you have, and I used the word beget before, how one thing begets something else. And that could be good or bad. Because I tell the people that are on my real estate collaborative partners, success by association. But you can also have guilt by association. And when I say success by association, you can use my name, that you're in my circle. You're being coached by me. That can help you get a deal.
True. It's very true.
Just like being here today, it could help me. It will help me. I don't like to use the word maybe.
Yeah.
I think. I know it will. So you have to watch what you say. Okay? Speak positive. Think positive. Look at what's being offered to you. The Boss Move Anthem is just another way that I could celebrate women that are on the move. And I'm just excited about the song and opportunities to share it. Boss Move Anthem. Yes. Yes,
You know
we
what?
are doing it.
All right, in your book, you talk about, because you was a little too excited. In your book, you talk about time management.
Yes. So sometimes you have to have the illusion to people. Because I get the question all the time. When do you sleep? How do you find time to do everything that you do? So everything that I do, it has to be purposeful, strategic. And I create a playbook. And when you have a playbook, that means you have a team, right?
True.
Isn't it always easier to do things when you have multiple people helping you?
If you can trust them.
So then that goes back to what I said
Really?
earlier. Listen, if you hang around a hot dog stand long enough, you're going to buy a hot dog.
That's very true.
Okay, I've heard a lot of analogies, but that one's okay.
So sometimes your circle has to change. You're going to hear, oh, now you think you're better than us. And that. No, when you know better, you do better.
Okay, on that note, how do you make a smooth transition when you're switching circles? Do you have advice on that? Because that is what happens. Like I'm kind of in that space now where my life has changed dramatically, and I realize that people around me cannot accommodate the change and don't understand it, which is cool. But in order for me to keep going higher, I've got to change this circle. How would I go about doing that?
Time brings about a healing of all wounds.
So I should just sever ties and just call it a day.
So no, you don't do that, because that means like there's really some discord or something. No, you just gradually. I'm gonna give you a good example. You go off to college, but all through high school you had a number one friend. But when you went off to college, you got new friends. And every now and then you will contact and call your old friend, but now the contacts become lesser and lesser. Does that mean you don't think about that person or care about that person or pray for that person? No, you do that. But time will heal a whole bunch of stuff. Time will allow a separation to not look like a sever of tides. So it's gradual. You're descending into a different level, but it's gradual. You don't just go straight there. Even an elevator take a floor. It may not stop, but you're ascending because you're growing. And that's going to happen. When you know better, you do better, because if you don't, you're going to look at, okay, I have wealth, but every time I make something, somebody needs to borrow it.
Okay, hands out.
Now, the words say you're supposed to be the lender, not the borrower, but they're not supposed to abuse it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So once you start to grow in your business, and this is why I think people come up with the word road dogs or roadies or whatever, because sometimes you have to pay people just to be with you. A lot of professional people do that. Who can they really trust? Do you understand? But you still, no one's put here to be alone. That's a sad state of affairs.
I just told him.
But this young man over here said that who can you trust? You can trust like-minded people to a degree. I mean, there's no 100% foolproof of who you can trust. But most people that are successful, they don't have time to worry about what you're doing because they're constantly working on their own craft.
Facts.
And I get called selfish for that. But I've been called selfish my whole life,
But
so it doesn't bother me, but, you know.
That's going to happen. I remember, must have been 20 years ago, T.D. Jakes had a CD, back in the day it was CDs, said, "Can you stand to be blessed?"
I remember CDs.
I know, right?
Vaguely, I'm sure. Vaguely, I'm sure.
So can you stand to be blessed? Because with wealth comes isolation. Now, how many people we can think that were very wealthy that was really isolated? So that's why in my song, the dual career song, I was like, make sure your hustle meditation is stable. And then I said Ecclesiastes 11:6 on the table. You're going to need something to sustain you through your transition of weaning your way to a higher level of where you want to be. Because it is going to weigh on you. You just said people calling you this and you know, that's going to happen. So I never forgot that series that he put out, T.D. Jakes, years and years ago, Can You Stand to Be Blessed? And every now and then, it might be on YouTube now. I don't know, you have to go listen at those things. You can't go to certain places looking to be validated. You know, I like that song, sometimes you have to encourage yourself.
Good old Sherry.
You see?
Donald Lawrence.
Yeah. Have to speak victory during your test. So, encourage yourself. Keep it moving. If you keep thinking and listening to what everybody else is saying, we call it a drunk monkey. Because he be saying
these analogies from
don't
calls it a drunk monkey. That's like something Cousin Marvin would say at the fair union. That's like something
so
Cousin
you
Marvin.
can't. You always gonna have one on your shoulder saying you can't do that, and the other one saying yes you can. Believe in yourself. So again, everything's between the two ears. You know. Sometimes we doubt ourselves. So yes, you're gonna have to start phasing out. I guarantee you, as you grow wealthy, have changed friends.
Yeah.
It's nowhere. It's really. I don't think it's nowhere really around it. Or your friends can come with you, but their mindset will have to change.
Yes.
Because then they would accept what you do and honor what you do and be a part of what you do and knowing that being a part of it is a good thing.
And I think that's the disconnect is when you grow and the people feel like they should have grown with you because you went and you ain't even take me with you because
It ain't my job.
the
boy.
blessing ain't ours, it's mine. If
I
want,
sacrifice.
you know what I'm saying? If I want you to be here, I'm gonna bring you with me. But that don't mean that you ain't gotta work. You gotta make sure that this ain't your dream. This is my dream. Live your dream. I'm gonna support you, and I'm gonna live my dream, and you support me. I think a lot of people think that when you go, they supposed to go too.
No, a lot of people do. And there's enough. The beautiful thing is there's enough out of here for all of us to share. And all of us are good. So we don't have to and I often tell people don't chase. What does chase mean? That means something's running. And it could be running from you. Embrace opportunities. But again, I go back to what I said earlier. You have to be in position. You don't never know what's going to come your way. But if you don't take the time daily, as I said, to read something, look at something on TV about, that's going to help you get to where you want to be in your next walk of entrepreneurship. There's enough out here, whether it's on YouTube, social media. You understand what I'm saying? All of those things help you. And then when an opportunity presents itself, like today, you said I was too comfortable coming in here.
Yeah, so my cousin hijacked my show. Let's just make that. As you can see, there was no flyer with her name on it, because y'all know how I do my guests. She was like, hey, because I'm being town. I was like, okay, well, she was like, so, I want to come by the studio, blah, blah. I was like, okay, well, cool, that's cool. And then I get music, and I can talk about this. And I was like, wait, I think she's trying to hijack my show.
And I said yes.
And then she showed up today, and I'm like, she's sitting in my chair spinning around. I'm like, why are you in my chair? And I was like, so you came to hijack my show? She was like, yeah. Okay, I was just checking. Like I said, my family has that takeover spirit. It's what we do. We don't boys. So all girls, we do that. So yeah, I didn't have a plan, and honestly, I'm glad she was here. Just kind of flowed today, and I'm learning because, like I said, this is my big cousin, so I'm learning, and I feel like everybody in the studio is learning. So yeah, you just got to be ready and know when to concede and let whatever the plan is unfold.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hey, I'm about that life.
Yeah, but I'm big on just being in position to take to take advantage of an opportunity when it presents itself. So you just work your craft, sharpen it every day, and you never know, I say, who's going to be your Rockefeller to take you to the next level. You just don't know. I mean, we see these stories because of social media. Someone that's just walking down the street singing or something, and someone hears them and say, oh my God, where did you get that voice? And next thing you know, they have a commercial or,
Literally.
Yeah. Social media has made it accessible. I'm not going to say easy, because once they grab you, you still have to have something to hold on to.
Yeah.
It made it accessible. It provides a platform.
Yeah. Like just this week, there was a guy, he uploaded this beat. He's a music producer. And Twitter just went crazy, and now Meek Mill is going to rap on his beat.
See?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he just posted it online, and he got like maybe 500 million likes and retweets. Meek Mill contacted him, and now it's probably going to be on Meek Mill's next album.
Yeah. So when I'm out coaching and speaking, I always make things layman terms. Not that I don't think anybody can understand, but why do we not start at the ground level, which would allow us to get to the next level, or what we see? Because a lot of what we see are people that have already made it. But what I take the time to do is look at people's stories, like a Tyler Perry or a Les Brown or Venus and Serena. Their father didn't know how to play tennis. He used VHS tapes. Now y'all really don't know what that is.
I know what a
Nah.
VHS tape is.
I got all the Disney movies
I
on
do too.
VHS.
I sure do.
I know what
All
it is.
of them.
Yep.
But he taught himself so he can teach his daughters. So what did I say earlier again? Help one, reach one, teach one. And that's what we can do. With social media and all this stuff on YouTube, you can know how to do just about anything.
Literally.
So there's no excuse. So what I see, which sometimes hurt me internally, is I see our parents better off than we are with degrees and social media and accessibility to know and have everything at our fingertips.
That is very true. That's absolutely true.
They bought homes with little resources, and we can't buy them with everything accessible to us. And not even just that. They managed their money much better than we did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's because everything is accessible. You can buy stuff in 2 seconds.
Literally.
Where they had to go into town, they only went into town once a week. No, seriously, we have to. These are the type things that we have to look at to try to figure it out. Because if we don't, it's going to be generational. It's just going to keep going downhill.
Mm-hmm.
And lately, there's been a lot of talk about the wealth just being almost to nothing for
Yeah,
African Americans.
in our community, because there's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. And I think when you broke, everybody wealthy, or at least that's what it looked like, especially in the streets. Dude got a Benz, but he might have got the check. No, he just got a Benz. That probably ain't girl name or something. Like, it's different. It's different. But what you were saying, like, the history will show us what history will show us what this will look like. Like, this is only the second generation of the internet. You know, the internet from the 90s was nothing like this. It was AOL and the beginning of Yahoo and early Google and
The little man.
IBM. You know what I'm saying? That was the
Connected.
first generation of the internet. This is only the second generation of the internet. Where the last 10 years, social media has catapulted people from nothing to something. And
In hours.
you know what I'm saying? And like, my mom's 70. When my mom bought her first house, it was like 1965. You know what I'm saying? The 65, 70, early 70s. In a city where, like you said, we don't go in town once a week. Don't be asking to go do stuff in the city, because it definitely take us 40 minutes to get to Ingles. So she live in a town like that.
Seafood Lion, Bilo. What else? I'm trying to think what else we have in Hampton.
Well, I know in Monticello they had Wayfield.
I don't know what that is.
It
Roses.
wasn't.
We had Roses, which apparently is coming back.
Absolutely.
I've seen Roses.
They had Kroger. This before Walmart. They had Kroger and Wayfield and Ingles, because the Ingles in Monticello been down there for 40 years.
Really?
Yeah. But they had that traveling that you're talking about. And my mama told me, like, it seemed like the perfect time for this generation to, like, make something happen. But it really not us. It's the generation right before us. That's the generation that is, like, kind of thriving, like the
baby boomers?
the late 30s to mid 50s. That's the generation that's like
X and Y.
that's wealth. And then the generation after that is like rich. And then I don't know what these kids gonna be now. Cause a lot of us is like caught in the middle. Like, I was born in '89, so I'm literally caught in the middle. Like, I grew up with all the good stuff, but the kids is growing up with it, so it's every day. And I'm not checking every day. Like, I got like real life to live, but they got like every day something new hitting, and it's a new this and a new that, and you're starting to see them transition social media into wealth. Nobody thought that was possible.
Yeah, at all.
Nobody thought, but
It is.
they lie to people because they tell you that the social media is the wealth, and it's not. A lot of people got millions and millions and millions of followers and can't sell T-shirts.
This is true. This is very true.
They can't sell T-shirts. So being likable online and having, like, it's a difference between having followers and fans. People will follow you. They will listen to you until you tell them to pay for something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as you say, okay, I'm selling tickets, I got a show next week, tickets only $11. I subscribe for free. But that small transition from $0 to $11 can turn somebody off. That's not a fan.
Why do you think they turned off, though?
Because it's the internet. I just find somebody else to follow. if I follow you and you tell me I gotta pay for a ticket, and I don't want to pay for that ticket, but he's saying some of the same things you said,
You
I'm
don't
gonna
want
follow
to pay
him.
for it, or you don't have the resources to pay for it.
Nah, I think these kids just don't want to do it. This generation, these kids
Get me?
they just got it. I wish my mama used to give me allowance. These kid mama just give them a card. Like, no, this my card with your name on it. Here, don't go too crazy with the card. But I wish my mama would have gave me a credit card when I was in high school.
You had to drive 50 miles to get anything.
But she couldn't do that. I was taking care of her. So it's different. But they just growing up with privileges that not necessarily my, because I don't think all of them, but a lot of my generation didn't grow up with that. I know y'all generation ain't grow up with that. And I know my mama generation ain't grow up with that. They allowance was like, my mama told me her allowance was like once a month. You get a quarter. That's all you get for the month.
Richard Rice wasn't playing that game, so it was you get yours and allowance. That car that I got you that you drive that you've had since you were 14 and a half, that's your allowance right there. And you going to the store to work, because my daddy's had his business since 1992, and it's 2019, and I was the first employee. So I was washing cars in the rain and the cold. Shouts out to my dad, even though he makes me miserable sometimes when I think about how I had to lose half my high school years to go work at the store. But I appreciate it.
But at least you was getting real money. My mama told me that her daddy used to give her a quarter, and that used to be a lot of money.
Yeah, I was a quarter in her day was.
When was this?
That was like the 50s, something like that, 50s, 60s.
My mama born in 49, so I'm like, she said they used to get a loaf of bread for a penny.
Yeah. My grandma used to tell me stories all the time.
Where is this place? I want to go there just to buy food, just to come back to this time.
But the income
Milk
you
is
make
$4.
now is
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah. So
it's the same thing.
It all levels out.
But I think it's different, like when you actually like got a quarter, you just ain't no little quarter, it's a little quarter.
Can't buy nothing.
You know, on that note, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're actually gonna get into some current events, because I do want to do some current events today, because there's a lot going on. So
Yeah, because your man's
on the Leadership Blend with your host, Ricardo D. Rice.
Your man's.
Through drought and famine, natural disasters, my baby has been around for me. Kingdoms are falling, angels be calling.
right, everybody, we are back with this Friday edition of the Leadership Blend with your host, Ricardo D. Rice, and my correspondent,
Kyle Andrew.
Double R.
and my very special guest.
Wanda Russell, Queen of the Hustle, half crown will travel.
Yes, ma'am. I like it.
All right, so we're gonna flip a little bit because I know that Double R wants to get into some stuff, and I kind of do too because there is a lot going on. So we're gonna get into some current events. All right, fine. Since you griping about it, go ahead.
Hey, you better figure out what's going on with your manses.
What does that even mean?
Look at these polls. That's what that means.
What are they showing, Kamala? On the rise.
Kamala jump. Elizabeth is kind of, she's
So is
steady.
Biden still at the top?
Oh yeah, it's Biden.
So then so now it's Biden, Kamala, and Elizabeth.
I think that's what the top three. That's what I saw the other day. That Kamala is on a steady rise to pass Elizabeth and Bernie.
All right. So as most of us know,
I don't think
they
she's
just-
passed them yet, but I
Who?
think she is on the steady. She's on the steady rise, and the debates are happening. So
Yeah.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will face off again.
All right, so here's that because I got that. All right, so we know we did the first round of debates, and I think a lot of people surprised a lot of folks, and then a lot of other visuals underwhelmed a lot of folks. So now we're going into the second round. So Colorado Senator Michael Bennet, former Vice President Joe Biden, Cory Booker, Steve Bullock, Pete Buttigieg, Julian Castro, Bill de Blasio, John Delaney, good old Tulsi Gabbard,
And Andrew
Kirsten
Yang.
Gillibrand, Kamala Harris, John Hickenlooper, Jay Inslee, Amy Klobuchar, Beto O'Rourke, Tim Ryan, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Marianne Williamson, and Andrew Yang are moving forward to do debates.
Yep.
So most of the people that everybody was banking on pretty much made it. Personally, I still think it boils down to Biden, Kamala, Elizabeth, and Sanders. You can say what you want. You can say what you want about the Burnster.
You got it.
You can say what you want about the Burnster, as long as he stands on the platform by 50, which actually I'm gonna segue to you because Andrew Yang might be sliding through on some things about this $1,000 he want to give everybody.
People are starting
But-
to pay attention.
but
People are starting to
But
pay
I
attention.
told y'all the other day that people are stealing his idea. If you watch Kamala on the Breakfast Club, she said that she wanted to give a $6,000 tax credit, and it'll equal out to $500 a month
Are you serious?
to anybody that earns under $100,000. The problem is when you segment a population of the country, just because rich people want to know that they can get that money, even though they never will take it. Like how you hold on? You finna give $1,000 to, so I can't get $1,000 because I got $1 billion. No, but you have the option to turn it down, and for people that will get that money, they have to pick one, because if you get supplemental income from the government already, you won't qualify to get this, so you'll have to pick one. So if the $1,000 outweighs the money the supplemental income that you already get, you can't get it at all. So it's a smart idea. It's a smart idea, but they stealing his idea. And I've been saying this since the beginning. After I heard Bernie go on air and literally word for word take words out this man's mouth about jobs with truck drivers and this, and then I watched Kamala do it. And then I watch Elizabeth do it. Joe is the dude that's like, hey, look, we've been saying the same thing for the last 10 years. We've been saying it.
I know one thing. This go round with the debates, Biden better show up, and he better show up with some weapons in his hands.
It ain't that he didn't show up. It's that what Kamala did, she had to do that. She had to do that.
No, Biden should have been prepared for them to come after him. I think he felt like everybody's going to be everybody understands that I'm the forerunner, and when we all get together, we're going to kumbaya. I mean, y'all can do what y'all do, but just don't touch me. We good, because everybody knows who I am, so we good. He was not prepared to defend his title from everybody else in that panel, so I hope this time he's prepared to throw down with all of them. Because Kamala, especially after her first go round, she's that chick now. So I know she coming guns and blazing for real. But she coming for blood this time.
The country,
Making boss moves.
Exactly. She coming for blood this time.
The country not set up for her to be the leading woman, but she definitely gonna be somebody vice president. I can say that. I can wholeheartedly say that. So she's going to be somebody's vice president. So you still feel like
we at a place that they're not ready for a female president?
Of course not. Of course not.
Cuz what you think?
Yes, we are. We're ready.
You think so?
Absolutely.
But this America don't work like that.
What does that mean?
America don't work like that. We'll never get back-to-back black presidents, ever. It'll never happen in this country. Not now.
Okay, so to that regard, my question when people say that is this. Before Barack Obama, did we truly have a candidate that looked as good as he did to run for president? I don't think we did. Jesse was cute.
Not in our.
You wasn't gonna get Al to do it.
Not in our generation. The only person that could run that was adequate enough to run was Dick Gregory when he ran against Nixon. But he still lost, and he won, and he lost. Same thing that happened to Hillary happened to him, and he said it before he died. He said it,
What,
and then he died. The same thing that happened to Hillary, that she won, and she still lost. This is before this is Nixon. Nixon wasn't supposed to win. Like, it's Nixon. It's just like when people say Ronald Reagan he wasn't supposed to be the president. In real life, he wasn't. Look at who he ran against and look at how he won. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. Look at when Barack ran. Look at who he ran against. Look at who he ran against.
Well, that second time around was
No,
close.
the first time.
Who was the first time?
McCain.
Oh.
Look at who he ran against. McCain is now dead and gone. Look at his running mate. Really? You thought you was gonna do it with that one? The woman that I ain't even gonna talk about her. And then look at the second time. You run against somebody like a formidable opponent.
Yeah, because I was actually nervous that time. I
Formidable
thought, well, I didn't know how that was
opponent in
gonna
here.
end up.
But he would have been a vice. He still would have been in that White House. But you ran against somebody like Hillary. Now, out of all of the people that have the most experience, you would think that the experience would win. But it's likability. And right now, Trump has the likability. Joe has the likability. We like Kamala. As black people, we like her.
Actually, no, we don't. Because the question keeps
No,
coming
black
up about Kamala.
men don't like her.
I don't know about black
Black women.
You sure? Because I don't know about black people in general.
This is the first time that we've ever seen a black woman in that position like that on that stage. Governor, that's cool. We knew you was gonna lose anyway. Like I said it when we was talking about it last year. I knew that Shorty was gonna lose. And look at what happened to her. She
Who?
disappeared off the face of the map.
She's strategizing. You smell Abrams?
Yeah,
She's
strategizing for what? For
To
who?
decide- Look,
She
she's the,
still hasn't endorsed anybody. She still hasn't endorsed anybody. She still hasn't. Where is she? We've never seen a black woman in that position like that. We've seen powerful black women, but not like that. Not that can get up there and go toe to toe with these men that sat in those offices. You got to remember, she was a DA in one of the biggest states in the country. So she's actually sitting down in the room with the people that she on stage with. It's different. Black women appreciate that more than black men, because the last thing that a older black man want to do is have another black woman tell him what to do when he got to go home and listen to that. So a lot of black men wouldn't want that. A lot of white men wouldn't want that. And white women are they straddling the fence, because white women are the women's movement. Oh my God, it's a woman. That's why what's her name? Wrinkly Face. What's her name?
Who is Wrinkly Face?
Hold on, I gotta find her name on this list.
I don't know. I think Kamala's still fighting
I
that
ain't
fight
talked about her in a
about people
while.
asking, is she black enough? Especially when they start looking at her.
She's
time.
first generation American. Her family is from Jamaica. Like y'all, people gotta stop.
I'm just saying that's what, like you like to say in these streets.
Yeah,
that's
but-
what they're asking in the streets. Is Kamala black
because
enough?
she's not talking.
But it goes back to that black agenda.
and nobody has one. Nobody has
Are
one.
they? Do we still expect them to have one? Again, when you say
Well,
minority, it's no
yes.
longer just black people.
Yes.
Last
but-
week I was telling you guys that Mayor Pete, he released like a whole 18-page for the black,
Yeah,
black
but it ain't
agenda.
gonna work, and he not gonna win.
I think he just did that just to say, here, look what I have.
Well, if they keep asking,
No,
for something,
he's
you give
been
it to
doing
them.
that in his city. You got to remember, like he won in one of the poorest cities in his state. Like he's the mayor of in South Bend. If you ever go to South Bend, it look like how it look on TV. It looked like that in real life.
I've
like,
never seen it, so it's
and it was an industrial city. So all those old warehouses where everybody used to work at, them warehouses still there. I don't know where them folks at. So when he say like he got a plan, I can believe that he has a plan. It's different, something like that coming from Kamala.
But
You're
I
in
always say that
California.
though, the fact that he is already in a position to run a state, he looks better on paper than most of these candidates that we're talking about. I've always said that. I just
Like
didn't know that
who?
was going to fare.
Like who? Who does he look better than? Other than Andy, and Andy might got the most money of most of these people because he's an entrepreneur. He's also worked with the same people. Sitting down with these people is one thing. Actually putting stuff on table and getting stuff implemented is something totally different. And that's the reason why when we talk about somebody like your man Bernie, who's been in government as long as Hillary has been in government, because you got to remember, Kamala he's what, 70? So she's 30 years younger than him.
How old is Kamala?
She's in her mid to late 40s. So if he's 70 something, I think when we talk about he's 77, it's almost over with for him. It's real close.
Can get a good 4 years out of him.
But he's been in government and has yet to pass a bill.
Well, my thing is, it's one thing to be a senator or a congressperson versus being a mayor or a governor. Because in that capacity, you're actually working with your own team of things, and you're working directly with people that you are seeing and operating with on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely.
Versus being a senator or a congressperson where you're sitting in a chamber and you're passing legislation that may or may not come to pass today or tomorrow. Whole different ballgame. So I always said on paper, Buttigieg looked the best because he's already doing something of that capacity. Now we're taking you from running a state to running the country, but at least you have the concept down because you had to do it. A lot of them have been senators, they've been congressmen, you're sitting in the chamber, you're passing legislation that may or may not pass today. It's a whole different ballgame. So that's why I'm saying on paper, he looks really good. So I'm actually glad that he's actually, making some traction. Will he win? Of course not. But
he's one of very few that has a state official resume. Biden has it. He's ran as a state official, been a state official.
Yeah, I mean,
Buttigieg has it. Elizabeth Warren has it. Kamala has it. It's a few of them. De Blasio has it. It's a few of them that got it, but it's different.
And see, you know what? This is good because I don't particularly care for politics. I don't. But what I do is I look at and I read and I study what each individual will offer, and then I vote. Okay?
Which is what we're supposed to do.
Yeah. And I tell people I don't vote a click, I vote my pocketbook because I'm a financial person.
And that's that right there, that statement, because people vote party. I'm Democrat, I've been Democrat, I'm vote whoever is Democrat. That's cool until you realize like the person that's running, like that's why I don't like black agendas. That the same reason why I don't like it when people be talking crazy on the internet, but they won't go out and do the works in the street. It's the same reason I do not like black agendas. You can talk about these things on the internet and it can get all the steam until it's time to implement it. And we saw what happened to our last 3 presidents that tried the black agenda thing and it backfired. You had black people complaining about people selling drugs in their neighborhood. And they complained and they complained and complained and complained and complained and complained. And then they filed this and they filed that. And then they get to the Supreme Court and then you get 93 crime bill. And then you mad, or 94 crime bill, and you mad. You like, hold on, our president just implementing this thing across the country, pick 600,000 black men in jail. What about those people that were complaining? And complaining and complaining and complaining and complaining. And then we saw it happen again in 2001. So you just gonna let these folks fly these planes over here and you ain't gonna do nothing about it? And you ain't gonna do nothing about it? And then Senate, you ain't gonna do nothing about it? In the House, you ain't gonna do nothing about it? We broke, but you ain't gonna do nothing. Now we're going to war. And then look at us. We've been over there since 2001. For what? For what? Why are we just there? For no reason. And then we saw it with Obama. I got this agenda for black folks. Bush, I got this agenda for black folks. Clinton, I got this agenda. But how better off are we?
Well,
where are we?
My issue with the black agenda is this. It's cute that you came up with it. When you get in office, who's going to oversee it and execute it? Because you're not going to have time. So unless you're going to create some committee or some subcommittee that's going to be headed by somebody they know, Auntie Maxine, be headed by somebody they know who's going to carry it out. But it's nice to have while you're on the road because people want to see it. And then are black people intuitive enough to actually stick with it once they get in office? Because it's still going to require us to do something. Are we actually going to do something and be proactive when it comes out? You were just throwing examples around.
It's different if you implement it in the legislation. It's different. Everybody got to see that. Well, it shouldn't be like a list of things that are specific to black people that only black people can see. It shouldn't be that because a segment of the population in this country outnumbers us by a lot. A lot. At least that's what they say. But we'll find out next year when this 2020 census go around to see what these real numbers look like. Because they keep telling us that, well, it's way more. It's only 17 million black people. It's only this. And I'm like, cuz, it's 300 million people in that thing. So you telling me out of 300 million people, it's only 40 million black people? I don't believe that. Those numbers don't even sound right. To me, all the other numbers don't. And then you're saying by 2025 that the Mexican population will double us. And they're right behind us. So they'll be at 60 million and black people still going to be at 40 million. And then white people are at 60 or 70 or 80 million. Those numbers don't equal out. Because that's only 230 million people. So who are the other 100 million people?
The blue people. We got blue people running around. The blue people.
But I'm saying like these numbers that they throw out, the same way that when something goes into legislation or when they write this bill for minimum wage, don't nobody oversee minimum wage. When they put that in the legislation, that's implemented across the country. We don't gotta have nobody to look that over. It should be the same thing. The difference is when everybody in that sits at that desk is a shade of people that do not agree that another shade of people should have those privileges, because that's a privilege. That agenda that we keep talking about is privilege. Let's not look for privilege. We should look for those same simple liberties that these folks have. They can have adequate insurance. We don't have adequate insurance. They can have jobs that pay them for the work that they do. We don't have that. They can have housing that is implemented specific to them. The SNAP program was specific to them. We just so happened to get it later. That didn't happen until the 80s when crack hit. That's when you start seeing a lot of these people say, "Now I'm finna go get food stamps." And then you start seeing those same men, after those laws started being passed and all those men started going to jail, they look, well, if you keep them out your house, we're going to give you $600 a month. Because that's what they told my mama. Keep that man out your house, I'm going to give you $600 a month. Oh, you got a job? Cool. We still going to give you $600 and we're going to give you the food stamps. So when you start implementing stuff like that, you get people conditioned to live like that. And they don't want to change. In this particular generation, these kids is like, well, we got social media. What we got to vote for? We can just go and protest and we can just band together and go and talk a lot. They're not going to go do the work. So they'll say Obama get reelected the second time. This is the most young people that's ever voted in the history of America, because all of them turned 18 the same time. What's going to happen? What happened in 2016? Where was those young people then? That's the most young people that didn't vote. The most that anybody has ever voted over the age of 60 since Eisenhower. That's the first time that's happened in history. And they put Trump in office. The most Latino men that's ever voted, ever, in this country, voted for Trump. The most Latin men in Florida to ever vote. That happened that happened with Trump. That didn't happen with Obama. That didn't happen with Clinton. That didn't happen with Bush. So when they start saying all that stuff, you gotta ask those questions. So what y'all gonna do now? Cause all y'all 18 now. All y'all 21 now.
Yeah, Kyle. What
all
y'all
y'all
do now?
25 now.
Well, to be fair, I was 17 Obama's second term. I couldn't vote, but I really wanted to. I couldn't do it. But
all right, so let's segue to yours, because I do want to get into that. We only have like 10 minutes left.
All right. So earlier this week, I don't know, I'm sure all of y'all saw on your social media is everybody aging themselves. So now it's there's a
the one
scare.
you picked?
Yes. Which
I
one
thought
do
you
you
was
want
going
me
with
to
the
do?
other one.
Which
Nah,
one? Which one you
Morehouse.
do?
You should go with that.
You want to do the Morehouse one?
I thought you was going with the Morehouse one.
That's
But
depressing.
that's funny,
But
because that's Russia.
Has that been proven?
Yes, the app is run by
The same way
Russia.
that they've proved that they influenced our
So there lies my
election.
point. The fact that you're using air quotes, there lies my point. Has that been proven about this space? Where did you get that story from?
AJC?
It's everywhere.
No, NPR.
That story everywhere.
fine, go ahead and
They've
read
been talking about it.
All right, go ahead and read it.
Like I was saying. So the app is called Face App. It's a photo filter app that delights smartphone users with its ability to transform features of any face, like tracking years when you wrinkle, has promoted Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer to call for federal investigation to the Russia-based company over what he says are potential national security and privacy risks to millions of Americans. He says it will be deeply troubling if the sensitive personal information of U.S. citizens was provided to a hostile foreign power actively engaged in cyber hostiles. So he tweeted that out yesterday. But the company says Face App, they're owned by this company called Wireless Labs. they also claim that most images are deleted from our servers within 48 hours of the when they're uploaded.
That's the
So
same.
what's the issue?
Because it's a
So people are,
Russia-based
they think
company.
Russia is keeping all of these Americans' faces
They
and
are.
getting into our phones. But if we're concerned about that though, but we've had smartphones for about 10 years now. We've had social media. The government already knows what we look like. We can have. I've had phone calls, and then I've talked about things, said things that I wanted, and then ads pop up on Instagram and Facebook. So they've already been listening to us. So I'm not really concerned.
Yeah,
So
I
didn't
the
understand
government
the issue.
is suing Mark Zuckerberg right now because he doesn't want to share information with various groups of the government. Amazon was sued last year for the same thing. It's the same. They don't want to share information with each other. So imagine what it looked like when countries around the globe are saying, "Hold on, you want us to do what? How much you gonna give us?" Because it's turning into a number thing. That's what it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And these kids got to live with it. They are going to be the most influential people that this country has ever seen. These kids now, 13, 14, 15, 10 years from now, they're going to be the people. We're going to be 60 like, dang,
I'm gonna
they
be rich.
really-
So I don't know what you're gonna be. I'm gonna be wealthy. So I don't know what you're gonna be.
No,
but
I'm
gonna
just
be wealthy.
saying they're going to be the ones to everything that we're talking about. We
Oh, it's
won't
gonna be
see
affected
it.
by them.
We won't see it while it's our time to do it. They're going to do it. Because they're like, hold on, y'all did what? That's a mistake. Like, y'all didn't see that when y'all was doing it? No, because we was in it. Okay, we going to change that.
But the only thing consistent in life is change. I mean, that's life cycle. We're gonna grow, hopefully continue to grow, but I know for sure we're gonna change. I mean, there's no way of getting around that.
All right, what's your second story?
Okay, so we can either
I
go
told
into
you
the
that wasn't a long one. I mean, that ain't nothing new.
we can either go into the Morehouse assault, or we can go into Elon Musk and his company called Neuralink. They want to put chips in our brain and make us connect with AI.
I'm not even gonna entertain that
Hey,
thought.
now,
I think
real
we'll
quick.
I knew he would
You
like
remember
that.
last week?
I knew he would
Remember
like that.
last week when I brought up the episode so it's an episode of Black Mirror, the very first episode of the new season
don't
of
watch that
Black
show.
Mirror. You need to, because it is interesting.
I watched the first episode. And I was thrown. I was like, I don't understand.
Did you watch the new episode of the new season?
If
Yeah.
I didn't watch the
With
old
the-
one,
with
why
the
would I
video
watch the new
games?
one?
Yes,
That
that's
was-
what I.
that
First
was
of all,
crazy.
that's a little that's you know that ain't got nothing to do with me. But that in particular is specific to what Elon Musk was talking about last year. He been talking about doing this for a long time.
Everybody's talking about this. People think it's the mark of the beast.
No,
and
but
chips and stuff.
I mean, well, it is, but he has already had the plan to do it since the first Tesla, five years ago. They have that. So the Tesla offers Neuralink, where you can get like it's a chip in the key, and they was talking about that, and I didn't know that until I test drove a Tesla. I backed the Tesla out of a park.
I'm about to say, how did you get to test drive a Tesla?
I drove a Tesla down the street and came back. So it's a link in a Tesla control key. The key look like the car, but it's a little bit smaller than this. And when you walk up to the car, the door handles come out, the door opens, you sit down, the car is already on. I didn't even know. I'm looking for like a button or like a thing to do. It don't work like that. Car already running. The car comes on. It says welcome, and then it starts saying other stuff on the screen. Put two hands on the steering wheel. So I put two hands on the steering wheel, and the steering wheel moves to me to see where I'm at with it. Like, you know, in the Benz, like you can have that.
I was about to say, I
setting.
mean, that's not uncommon. My dad's car does that.
Nah,
Like
nah, that's different because he got to set that setting. No, this car was like touch the steering wheel and then it adjusted to me. Like I ain't know where no buttons was, so I put the car in reverse and I took my and it says remove your hands. So I removed my hand and the car backed up, and then put itself back in drive. And I'm like, hold on, car, hold on, cause it did what they talking about. First of all, I need one. I want one of these. But this different. And when you look at that Black Mirror episode and you read this whole little Elon is he I don't know where Elon from, like what time period, cause I don't think he real. That's just me. He is from a place, if you've ever been a Star Trek fan, like and you watched the first season of Star Trek New Generation, some of the
he's the Antichrist. That's
some
what
of
it
the
is. He's
tech
ushering
that
in these chips and all this. These.
that's
Anyway,
that's
I'm
not new though. That's
Anyway,
not new.
all
But
right, before we go, I do want to get into this Morehouse debacle because
I ain't a debacle. Somebody got beat up.
No, it's not. That's not what nobody got beat up. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Thought it
So
was-
there was this student. He uploaded these multiple videos on Twitter claiming that a professor had made predatory comments toward him. He was trying to get him come out about his sexuality, and he reached out to Morehouse. Nothing came of it. So he, after he put it on Twitter, of course, Twitter was in an uproar. The school eventually they said something. As of right now, Morehouse released a statement saying that it would be, that they are thoroughly investigating the complaints against DeMarcus Cruz and that he is on leave. So,
which I saw the videos because when they were talking about this, I've gotten in a habit now where I look at what's trending on Twitter, and I actually find it's actually pretty insightful at times. Not Black Twitter. Twitter.
it was Twitter.
Twitter.
It was everybody.
And I actually saw his video, and I saw the rants. He wasn't the only one. There was another guy that came out right after he started his. There was another guy that came out and said the same thing. My final point with HBCUs is, have we finally gotten to a place where we can really sit down and reassess what we're doing and what is the HBCU experience? Don't knock them, love them. They were created for a purpose. But just like we were talking about how things evolve and change, I feel like what they need to do for the Black community now has kind of changed, and I don't think we've addressed that. So can we finally sit down and have the conversation about, okay, maybe we need to shift some programs because those programs are not talking. But we had Dr. Kevin James here with Morris Brown. He was saying that they were shifting from education to more media-based stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Can we finally have these conversations and say, okay, I know at one time we were amazing. Now we need to figure out how to be amazing again. That's all I'm saying. That's the only reason I want to introduce this story, because I feel like the HBCU community has a lot of work that can be done. I just don't feel like we're giving these kids the right tools, but we're charging them double the cost still. That's a problem for me. But again, there is something that we should be doing. I just feel like we need to sit down collectively, and I say we, even though I've never had the HBCU experience, but they're Black and I feel connected to them. So we need to sit down as a community and really have the conversation about what needs to be done as it pertains to this time period. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, this sounds interesting to do. I don't know if it's going to be done.
Well, a lot of them are actually talking about merging. I've seen that conversation come up a lot.
Yeah, because they broke.
I know.
Action.
When your school broke, you don't have no choice.
This is true.
You don't have no. It happens to a lot of white schools too.
This is true too.
It happens to a lot of white schools. When they school broke, hold on, you broke too? We got a little bit of money, but we broke too. You want to team up? And that's what they do. Because they don't have no choice. But that's just the history of the college experience in America. Like, that's just how it worked. Most schools were probably two schools. Most of them.
All right, so we're down to our last minute, so I want to give my cousin space. Anything you want to leave the listeners with that you spoke with? You spoke about a lot today, and I think they grasped everything, but any particular nuggets that you want to make sure they don't forget?
Okay, so the main one is, don't think it requires a lot of money to start a business or to start investing. It's so reachable. Just get hooked up with the right people. Success by association. Learn from those that have gone before you, and it will be all good. You can build wealth.
All right, so on that note, we will see you guys on Monday, same time, same place, on the Leadership Blend with your host, Ricardo D. Rice.